Hey everybody, welcome to Power Hour, starring me, Ron Harrison, the one and only Giles Tiger Thomas. This week we're going to be talking about the Dubai Pro coming up. Big show with some big names. There's also a pro show, the Huanji China Pro. And first, Giles, let's congratulate a fellow Brit, shall we? We're talking about, let's see, Sasan. Sasan went to another show. He had his Olympia qualification, but said, hey, I'm going to get another win, and he did it. So here he was at the Empro Classic. Beautiful Jonathan Moreau photograph there. People, there was even rumors he was going to go to Dubai, but he's not on the list. But
no,
man, what a year for Sasan. This started in March.
Wow, he's done absolutely amazingly well. I'm glad he did this show because I think it's good that he committed to it and did it. I'll be honest though, I'll say it because the thing is, I've said it on the comments before the finals happened. I did think Angel had him. Because you know me, I'm a conditioning snob. And Angel Calderon, he's been second in the 212 Olympia. He's been, was he 10th, 7th, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th? So he's like a top. And I think this is the best I've ever personally seen him. Wow. And to be honest, I much prefer this look because I was messaging back and forth with someone on Instagram and he was saying, the other guy said, I much prefer how Angel looks as an opener. I said, to be honest, I totally agree because he doesn't look, I've seen him as a 212 many times. But to me, he looks like probably maybe 218, 220, maybe even heavier. So I actually agree. I think this is his best physique. You know, it's like when we used to say about Flex Lewis, we never got to see the best version of Flex Lewis because Flex told me himself at the Olympia, that's called the press conference thing. He said, no, he said, my best physique is at 226. So the thing is, we've got to see Engel now at his absolute best. And I think his best is as an open. But the thing is, and I also said to Sasan, put in his comments, I said, Sasan, I said, you know, you got 2 wins going into the Olympia now. That's huge. But also, I think it's really as significant is that you've been a runner-up at the 212 Olympia. I said, I think that for me is as significant as you getting a second win because Sasan hasn't done Olympia yet, you know, and he's kind of like, he's just kind of hitting his stride now. So to beat him, I think it's kind of a bit of a double victory for him, really, with this one, winning an Empro in Spain. So, because I'll be honest, I think his condition was starting to fade. If you compare to how he looked at the other shows, you know, Cali and all those, the Legion, I think his condition was starting to fade. And I think this is not the hardest Sasan I've seen, but I'm happy for him. He's got a second win. He's going into the Olympia with a lot of momentum now. And also, you just said it there because I didn't know. I'm really glad he's not doing Dubai because I think that would be a big mistake. Yeah,
I don't see the benefits, if I can use that word.
Start! Don't you fucking start.
The benefits, but yeah, I mean, we were on a group chat, and you said, "I think Angel's got this," and I could have given it to Angel based on the pictures I'm seeing right here.
He's harder. He's a lot harder, and he's. I think Sasan looked good, but I think he just, if you look at like the condition in the quads, it was like, I mean, obviously he's done 6 shows in a row. He's not going to be able to nail it every single time, but the thing is, he kind of has been able to nail it every single time, and he kind of did nail it here. But when you're next to someone like Angel Calderon, who's full to bursting, his condition is on point, he's fresh for the show. Like I said, because you're prejudging, Sasan was only ahead by 1 point.
Wow.
And then Sasan seemed to pull by a few points for the night show. So the prejudging, it was pretty much a flip of a coin. And that's exactly how I had it. In fact, I actually had it. Like I said, I actually thought Angel held him on this. Angel. I thought Angel I definitely had him on this one.
Yeah, I mean, Angel's we'll see Angel again in Dubai this weekend as a 212. So if he was 218 or 220, he's going to have to drop a few pounds. But then,
he's doing 212.
He is.
Of course he is. Yeah. Do you know what? I was looking at the list today and it didn't even register that he's coming to do 212. So that tells me he's not far off 212 here then. He can't be.
He can't be.
Because look at the condition. Unless he just doesn't eat for a whole week and bloody, I remember Jose Raymond. I remember read one of your articles in MD years ago. Yeah. And one of the years, I think when it was 202, and he said he was having to eat like one tiny little chicken breast, a little bit of water, and it's like I don't think it's actually that healthy, and I think it's actually quite dangerous.
I'm sure.
To some of these guys, like a week out being 208, 210, and they're dry and hard. Because if like Angel's like say he's 218 or 220 there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's rock hard, he's dry, he's lean. What exactly can he do to get down to weight? Thing is, if he doesn't make weight, he'll just have to go into the open.
Well, he'll do okay in the open. I mean, there's some big names in this Dubai show, but
he'll struggle there. This is a different kind of lineup, Dubai.
He won't be fighting for the win in Dubai if he goes open, but I'm sure he's got a plan. I bet he's probably like if I'm going to throw out a number, he couldn't be more than like 215 here because he doesn't look that much bigger than when he was 212. I mean, he's 5'2".
I know. I know. I mean, it's but it's nice to see him at his best. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes like when we saw Bumstead in Prague, and I saw him, and he was 6 to 7 pounds heavier. He did look better because that was how his physique. That's the weight his physique looked its best at. And I think this is the case with Angel. So he'll obviously look good in Dubai, but he probably won't look as good as he is here.
All right. Well, let's move on. Dubai. This is the third biggest prize money after the Olympian Honor. It's $140,000 for first. I don't know how it breaks down after that, but this is the favorite right here. The man from Iran, Behrooz Tabani. So is this the most recent update? Yeah. He's doing the motorcycle stance, but that's okay. I'm interested to see if Tyler's going to make a video about the motorcycle stance.
He will.
And I wonder if they're going to say, put your arms down or whatever you want to do, guys. Arms up, arms down, whatever you think is best.
I think it's more of a shopping trolley, pushing an imaginary shopping trolley. That's what the men's physique do, that, don't they? Like their arms up there and bloody.
Yeah. Well, Lee Priest posted it looks like he's carrying sacks of groceries under each one.
It does.
So there's two front runners. I'm not discounting Nathan's. Tell me, because you would know this. Did Nathan beat Behrooz at one of the shows these past couple years?
Hang on. Oh shit! You should have asked me this before.
I mean, because I remember it, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering incorrectly.
Oh, I can't remember. It's going to really bug me now. The thing is, we're going to see in the comments because people are going to know. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's
a good question. Maybe one show, maybe I don't know, maybe a few years ago, but nothing springs to mind.
I remember he beat Nathan. I think it was last year I get them all mixed up because half of them are in Alicante. There's like 3 shows in Italy. I get so mixed up with the European shows. I'm a dumb American, but I know he beat Nathan at one of those shows last year, but it was close. It wasn't like a blowout. So we'll look at Nathan in a bit, but Behrooz, this guy never misses with the condition, especially. And he's in Dubai, which is good because Iran is being bombed and missiles fired at it. So you don't want to be there getting ready for a show, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to find. Go ahead.
So like for me last year, I know obviously the one weakness I felt like he had was his quads from the front, but some of the updates I've been seeing, it looks like he's brought them up. And that was really it. That's all he needed to bring up. But Behrooz is my favorite to win this. I think he's looking good enough, and I think he's good enough as well to retain the win on this one because he's just too dominant. He's too good. I mean, how he looked at Dubai last year, he looked phenomenal. I mean, I've seen him in the flesh. He is incredible. He's got a beautiful look at the midsection. Look at that. I mean, he's got that much size and density in his shoulders. His shoulders don't look all filled up with crap. It's nicely crisply separated. He's got a beautiful shape. The only two criticisms I have on Behrooz, his quads from the front, but it looks like he's brought those up. Yeah. And also his posing routines. His posing routines are terrible. And his music choice is horrendous. He's just like he comes out to some disco music, some background music, and he's got such a thing. The problem I have with that is he's got such a beautiful aesthetic physique. Like I would love to see him do like an 80s or an early 90s kind of like posing routine because it would really finish everything off just beautifully. But like I said, that's as far as my critique goes of him, really. I can't really. He's incredible. He really is incredible. But it looks like he's brought the quads up. So the physique, I think, it's going to be the best one on stage. And I think he's going to win.
I would look at that. I mean, the quads weren't horrible. I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus and saying, well, this guy's quads are worse and he's still winning shows. But I know what you're saying. They do look like they've come up. They're bigger than they were because this was last year. This was Dubai last year when he won.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a wide shot, so we can't see it. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't win. But at the same time, I'm rooting for Nathan too. Let's take a look at Nathan.
Look at him. He's awesome. He's awesome. I mean, I'll be honest. I I don't have any knowledge on, on the situation with his visa and stuff, but I think with what's going on with Iran and the fact that he's struggled since 2021 to get to the Olympia, I don't think we'll see him at the Olympia this year. I would love to be proved wrong. I'd love to see it happen because he will upset a lot. He will basically rub out a lot of big names at the Olympia. But funny enough, I've just been talking to Nathan actually.
Oh wow, what's he? He's in Dubai right now, right?
He is, but because I said to him, mate, I said, you're looking drier than Gandhi's flip-flop. So, because I said, mate, and he said, Charles, he says, I haven't felt like this bad, this shit for a long time, like, in struggling. And he said, I've really given this everything. And I said, mate, to be honest, it looks like it. I said, because I've never seen you in this condition at like 1 week and 2 weeks out. I've never seen you this dry or this hard, this far out. I said, so if you keep on as you're going, I said, I do see like, you've been in your best condition ever. And then he sent me, I didn't know you could do this on WhatsApp. You can send videos and they can only see it once.
Oh, okay. No,
yeah. So because I knew I could see it and I thought, is this something new on WhatsApp? And he sent me, because obviously then I couldn't save it or send it to anybody else. But he showed me, it was a minute, it was a recent video. I think it was from today or yesterday. It was like a minute 15 and he was going through all his poses and he looked absolutely sensational. I mean, his cheeks are really, somebody was saying, these guys, it was on one of the Instagram accounts. And he says, these new guys, they're obviously talking about the top 5, top 6 guys, likely top 6 guys in this show. And I say, none of these guys can get the sucked in cheeks like the 90s. And I said, well, I've seen pictures of Nathan. I said, and trust me, he might be the only one.
So condition is usually where Behrooz takes out most of his rivals. And it looks like Nathan is going to be right there with them this time. So yeah. I'm wondering, could this be enough to finally tip the scales and beat Behrooz?
I don't know. To be honest, I've got Nathan a solid second. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to beat the others, but obviously by coming second. But I think it's going to be him and Behrooz in the final 2, based upon what I've seen. Obviously, because that's all we can go on.
Yeah.
But I think Nathan will push him, but I think Behrooz is just too far ahead right now.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great look. This was Dubai last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he fourth last year there or 4th?
I believe so. I can't remember who beat him. Behrooz won. That's all I can remember. But
yeah. Oh no. I'm sure Rubiel was 4th, wasn't he? I was in Italy. I remember I was in Milan that weekend that show, and I was watching it on my phone. Lauren was telling me off.
Yeah.
She's like, "Come on, we're supposed to have a romantic weekend in Milan." I'm like, "Just checking the show results."
So he was already this dry and tight at over a week out.
Yeah.
So we can expect to see better condition than this. And this was pretty damn great. Look at that.
The only thing, it just looks to me like he's lost a bit of size in his back, but everything else looks fantastic. Because last year, I think it was when he did one of the Italy shows, and it looked like his legs had really come up. And I said, mate, you've really brought your legs up. Because then I compared it to one of the shows he'd done the year previous and the 2 year previous like that. And you could see that he'd really brought his quads up. And he said, yeah, I've been told to sort of really bring them up. I've been working really, really hard. But he look, because he's 39 now, he feels like he's knocking on a bit. I mean, he's still a baby. But because he said he always said to me many times over the years, he says, I want to be done by the time I'm 40. He says, wow. I'm not going to go on past 40. He says, I've got my kids will be at a certain age where I want to spend more time with them and not be prepping. Because obviously he's been prepping out in Dubai here. So, he's away from his family and he's a very hands-on father. He said he likes to go to footy with them on a Sunday and takes them, he spends a lot of time with them. Plus he's got the gym and the business, and his wife and everything else. So, and he has an active social life as well. So I think he's not afraid to go off and work. I mean, I don't know how long he's been out in Dubai for. I'd imagine it'd be for most of the prep, because I've been seeing his videos from Dubai for a good few weeks now.
Huh. I did not know that. I assumed he was back in Liverpool.
No. If you look at all the videos, he's been prepping out in Dubai. He's been really. He said that's what I need to do to really bring out my best. And obviously so. But but he said he's really, really dug deep for this one. He said he's really, really worked hard. I think maybe that's because he knows he maybe in his head he has got this thing that he's going to stop in another year. So he wants to just give it everything those last couple of years and go out kind of on top, or at least, still winning more pro shows. Because I mean, I think was it 11 or 12 pro shows he's won now?
I've lost count.
I lost count. I know he had 11, definitely had 11. And I think he might have got some extra ones, but he's someone that really he's kind of what he wants to kind of go out like a Lee Haney, not in winning 8 Olympias, but going out where he's on top and at his best. Yeah.
So Tonio Burton, I didn't expect him to jump in the show, but I think it was about a couple weeks ago, he made it public he was doing it. He's already in Dubai. So this was a couple weeks ago at Legion. He's got his Olympia qualification, and this is a ballsy move because Behrooz is no joke. He knows Behrooz is in it. Bonac is in it. Nathan is in it. Neckzilla. But Tonio's got a really good shot. Obviously, he's not as big as some guys. Condition isn't as freaky. But, geez, overall package, I don't think too many guys can touch him on the structure and shape that he has.
Bonac will beat him.
Bonac will beat him. Okay, well, you said it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bonac will beat him. I know because obviously yeah, but Ron, you're bringing this guy up because you think he'll be third. I've got him maybe like lower down, like maybe fourth or fifth.
Yeah,
I saw a video he posted because I posted the video where he just got to Dubai, and to be honest, he looks like doesn't look like he's about to step on stage in a couple of days. I know some of these guys can, when they travel, they can hold water. That doesn't look to me someone that looks rock hard, mate.
No, when he turns to the side, especially, you'll see right there, that looks pretty soft. And I don't know if that's water, that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 10 pounds of water if that's water.
I know he hasn't got the tan on. I know he's got the bright light on him, and he hasn't got. I know he's got the bright light on him, and he's got the the sun on him and stuff. And I mean, he looks good, but I don't. He's not in my top three, mate. I think Bonac is. It's funny because I've read in the comments, people are like, Bonac won't be top five, and it's like, how many hundreds of times have I heard people saying that Bonac won't be top five in these shows? Bonac is probably the most consistent pro since Dexter Jackson. Let's be honest. And the thing is, he never misses, mate. He never misses.
No, I mean, the only show he wasn't top five was that last Olympia. Everything else, he's either won or been in the top five. So yeah,
he's seventh at Olympia, which he's gone back up.
So Tonio, unless if this is a lot of water and he's going to shed the water, yeah, first call out, all that. But if this is an indication of the condition we're going to see, I'm very concerned for Tonio. But we'll see. I guess we'll find out. And they're 8 hours ahead of me, Dubai. Good Lord. All right, so let's take a look at Bonac.
Yeah, no. I think Bonac will take him.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bonac, he's so consistent that I think people kind of get bored. Like, they know he's going to look great. They know what they're going to get. Well, that was 91 weeks ago. I don't want to see that. He just posted that. So what was this, last year's Dubai? I'm not sure what this.
That was Empro. That was Empro last year. I was there. He won it. He beat Behrooz there. He beat Behrooz.
Oh, he did beat Behrooz. Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I was there. I was doing the commentary.
Oh, okay. Why did I think? Empro, he beat Behrooz. Right.
Yeah, in Spain.
That's right. So looking for recent updates. But, like you said, you don't have to worry about, is he going to be in shape? I don't know. Is he going to pull it off? He's always in shape. This was earlier in 5 days ago, I should say. Mm-hmm. That's William. He's always in shape. He's done. I don't know how many pro shows now, probably 30, 40, somewhere.
This year.
Yeah, I mean, he started off with the win. And I'm really surprised at how many guys are continuing on long after they've got their Olympic qualifications. I
don't know why he's doing this show, I'll be honest. I mean, he's been going since he did the Olympia, and then he went straight into the Arnold Classic. Then he did Detroit. Then he's been going and going and going. I mean, I just think,
Pittsburgh? Was he in Pittsburgh?
Is this his last year, do you think? Or do you think he's just kind of just going all out for that final year? Or because I'm just wondering what the benefit is to go from, like, he's been prepping since January.
Yeah. So
he's in January, February, March, April, May. Now we're in June. Now pretty much, like people like Samson and Keon are now starting their Olympia preps pretty soon. Keon's already started. So it's like as soon as he comes off this one, he's going to have to go. The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and does like Italy or one of the other pro shows, because we've got a few other pro shows coming up, So I wouldn't be surprised. But I'd be very shocked if he didn't do the Masters Olympia.
So that's only a month away, or like 6 weeks away.
He'll jump in. I reckon he'll jump in.
Yeah, they're not going to say no if he's, hey guys, can I come in your Masters Olympia? Like, no, it's too late. No, of course they're going to let him.
The guy's been two-time on a classic winner and been second in the Olympia, and he's still winning pro shows now. And he's, I wonder if he'll do it though, because we know Brandon's doing it. Does he think? Because if he thinks he can win, if he can beat Brandon, then he would be silly not to do it because it's a Masters Olympia title, and then he holds that for 2 years because the Masters Olympia is only ever 2 years. So it'd be definitely beneficial for him to do that, especially if he's on a prep anyway to the Olympia, to go and jump on a plane and go and compete in Japan. That's not really that much of an imposition.
I strongly suspect this is the last year for him because he's never done this many shows before.
It must be. You wouldn't be doing every single show.
And he's 42. That's not
no benefit.
It's not an old man for a bodybuilder, but 42. He's been a pro for, I want to say, close to 15 years at this point. It's been a long time. When did he turn
2011.
pro?
2011.
Yeah, so 14 years. That's
2011.
It's a long pro career for anybody. So good on him. I'm glad to see if this is last year. He's leaving nothing on the table. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to one of the question marks. Question mark. Is he going to be in great shape? How's he going to look? Talk about the Neckzilla. Rubiel Mosquera from Colombia. I don't see any real recent physique updates. Condition. The last one we saw, he looked like he could get in shape in time, I suppose. But there you go. I guess this is the most recent one. We know his side shots are just devastating. He beats pretty much everybody in the side shots. All Dubai.
Yep.
My concern was that Angel. It's hard to tell. Oxygen Gym in Dubai. I forgot they have one there. So I mean, I like the guy, but I still think certain structural issues with him are going to prevent him from beating someone like a Behrooz or a Nathan. Even a William. If he beats William, I'd be very, very surprised. But let's see how he looks.
I'm not bothered about the structure. It's the conditioning I'm bothered about. And I know I've seen these pictures, and I saw some video of him training with Bob Chick and who else was on the Panatta stand a few weeks ago, and he looked really good there. I mean, he looks fantastic there. At the New York Pro and everything. I'm yet to be convinced that he can really bring good, proper conditioning yet. And I don't know whether he's got that fire. I don't know. I'd love to be proved wrong. But I think he's fighting for fourth with Tonio, mate.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We think he was fourth last year. This is older. This is 20 weeks ago. So not an indication, but he's a massive guy. I could see why he's a fan favorite. There's always going to be room for freaks in the sport, and this guy is about as freaky as it gets.
He is awesome. I love him. I do like him.
That was I thought. See, they always fool me. The thumbnail looks like it's going to be a video of him posing, and then it's something completely different. But, he was fourth last year, I believe, right?
I think so. Where was Nathan? I can't remember. Was Nathan third? I can't remember. That was like a year ago now. He's usually pretty good with this stuff. I'm slipping, man. I'm slipping.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the legs.
Yeah, he's so thick. So thick. And like a shot like that where he's twisting in the midsection is a little smaller looking. You would think this guy's going to win every damn show. He's just a monster.
I think he's got the best side tricep, better than Hunter in the Pro League today. I can't think of anyone right now off the top of my head who has a better side tricep shot than Rubiel.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be a good one. So let's move on to who else do we have in our? How many? I have
the dark horse.
The dark horse. Is this Ali?
Come on. Yeah.
That's Ali. Let's find him. Ali Edward Cargbo, who was in the show last year, but he has significantly grown since a year ago. I don't remember him being this big. Look at that. People were comparing that to Phil Heath because when Phil hit that shot, he had such round, full delts and arms like that.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see similarities.
So I don't know how much. It says he's in these shots. He's 242. I don't know how tall he is. He's probably not 6 foot.
I'm telling you, I think this is the guy that could cause an upset with those previous names that we've mentioned: Tonio, William, Rubiel, Nathan, Behrooz. I think this is the guy that will. I think there'll be a lot of talk around this guy because I think even what I saw last year was impressive. But you can see he's put a lot of tissue on it. It's quality size. He's got good conditioning, good separation. I think this guy's going to be a bit of a talking point this weekend. I think he's absolutely sensational. I like his shape. I like his thickness. And I think he's really, really coming up hard. I think he's going to potentially, he is kind of maybe like a 5th, 6th place guy, which is no shame in a lineup this good. But I think he's could potentially. I could see him like beating Tonio. I could.
Yeah, it's possible, especially if Tonio.
Yeah, I could.
Super sharp. If Tonio's off, he's going to get beat by a few people. There's no doubt.
100%. 100%.
So the knock on him a year ago was he needs to bring up his back, and I don't have like a before and after, but his back looks pretty damn good now. It could be a little thicker, but geez, because he's got this massive. Everything from the front is so thick and round.
It reminds me a bit of Patrick Johnson.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Patrick.
Yeah, I messaged him. I said, "What's going on with you? What's happened?" Because I heard he was writing about something cryptically about something that had happened, and I went, "Wait, what happened? Why have you been out for so long? What's happened?" And he didn't respond.
Yeah, that's annoying when people do that because they know everyone's going to want to know, well, what happened? What's going on? And then you never make a follow-up post.
It's like on Facebook when those whiny women have a breakup and they start whinging and they go, "What's up, hun?" And then she says, "I'll DM you." So annoying.
Last guy I want to talk about because he just jumped in. I didn't hear about him coming in. Was
shit! Oh my god! How can we forget this guy?
Well, he just jumped in. I mean, so this was from last year, but good indication of geez, this guy is deadly. He's very complete. Again, back is the one thing. So I'm looking to see some recent back shots. But geez, look at that from the front. This guy is well put together. Grainy. Egyptians.
Photo is. Was it 2 pro shows he won last year or the year before? Remember he won them. He won Chicago, and I think he won another one, didn't he? Won 2 shows. Was it Tampa and Chicago?
So this was last year.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
Did he win Tampa too? I believe he did win a couple.
He won. I know he won 2 shows. He won 2 shows. But again, here's another dark horse. Here's somebody that I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling to sort of because you're going to have some really, really good guys here not making top 5.
Oh, I agree.
And I was reading one of his posts today, and he said it's the best prep ever, and he's looking his best ever, and the pictures all reflect that. So he's very, very well put together, very complete. He's won pro shows. He's gone to America. He's gone out of his comfort zone and traveled and actually beaten a lot of good guys. So Mofo, I mean, there's a legit, like Olympia guy there that has proven himself for several years. And here's another one who could rub out a couple of big names as well.
And he can get a visa to the U.S. We know this already. So that's going to cover the Open. We already looked at Angel, who is probably the favorite for the 212 division at this show. I don't think that's in dispute. I want to take a look at just a couple others. We got Radoslav.
Hang on. You're missing somebody out.
Uh-oh. Who did I miss? Tell me.
You're missing Nihat.
Nihat,
the Turkish guy, the 22-year-old who got second to 8. Nihat got second to Angel just last year here in Dubai, and he is honestly, I think when Keon eventually gets bored of winning the 212 Olympia, I think Nihat could be an Olympia champion. I really do. And this kid is 22 years old. He's put a lot of quality size on since last year. I think we've got a future superstar. I think we've already got a superstar in the 212, but I think in the next couple of years you're going to see him, because I'll be honest, in the 212 Olympia, I think Keon and Sean Clarida, I think they're pretty much, the top 2 for as long as they want to be. But guys like Nihat, I mean, look at his shape, look at the size, the density. And I think he was, 21 here, was he?
Yeah, this was a year ago.
21 years old. Yeah, he's 22 now. He might be 23, but the fact that he's got such a well-developed physique at this age absolutely blows my mind. He seems very. I've been watching his updates all year on Patrick Tour shares them as well. Yeah. I think he's really, really good. I think he'll struggle against Engel Calderon, but he'll push him. I hope he does another show. Because I remember I spoke to Patrick when I was in Milan last year, and I said, "What's he?" And he said, "Oh no, he's shutting it down." He said he's got a second here to Angel. He's proven himself. Because I said, "Why didn't he keep going? Go and qualify for the Olympia?" And he says, "No, that's not our plan. We're going to go into a good off season and come back next year." So that's what he's done. He's come back this year. So I hope, even if he doesn't beat Angel, I hope that he goes and does another show, like any other show with 212 in it, because I would really, really like to see this guy at the Olympia, and I think he could be a top 6 guy this year.
Look at that condition, and he's definitely put some size on. It's very apparent. It says here in the post that he's still 6 pounds over the limit, and this was today. He just posted this an hour ago, so he can do it. Patrick can get 6 pounds off him. I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me, because I'm the worst. I forget about a lot of people.
This guy's awesome, man. I just honestly, I think he's I mean, obviously, like we've got Keon, who's probably going to, win as many as he wants to win in the 212. But I think Nihat is probably the fastest rising star in 212 today, right now.
Well, Keon, I mean, realistically, how much longer is Keon going to stay in 212? I don't see him. I think this will be his last year.
If you notice, Keon's really grown, but he was only 200.
205. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Keon was 200, 201 at the Olympia last year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so he's got room to grow. I think Keon at like 215 would be Mr. Olympia, honestly. I don't think he needs to be much bigger than that. All right. Just a couple more guys in the 212 because we love the 212. I want to make sure that we talk about 212 guys because I feel like that division's sort of getting overlooked in the past year or two for whatever reason, but it's building back up. So who did I have? Radosław from Bulgaria. So he's very complete, very round.
Yeah, shit.
And this is today. This was yesterday, 21 hours ago.
Oh, I think Nihat's going to struggle against him, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Nihat's a work in progress.
That's going to be. Yeah, Nihat, Radosław, and Angel. I mean, I don't see anyone cracking that top three apart from those three guys.
Yeah, very good. I think I had one other guy though, from Italia.
Okay.
Zaccarelli.
Oh, Zaccarelli. Yeah. He's really good. Really, I think he's one of the best balanced 212s out there, actually.
Yeah, he looks like I'm going to say
he did what?
Go ahead.
Because he did well at the Olympia, but I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best balanced 212s out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know how tall he is? Because he doesn't look like he's 5 feet tall. He looks like he's probably closer to like 5'6" or 5'7". If I had to take a wild guess. I agree. But it doesn't matter. He's not as thick, but the shape and the structure are just astonishing on this guy. Yeah, I've seen him.
One of the best he's got one of the best front door biceps, I think, certainly in all of bodybuilding right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that vacuum.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's just a real eye-catching pose for him because the front door bicep, that's your first compulsory pose. And if you can shine in that shot, then the judges' eyes are going to be on you big time.
Absolutely. All right. Now let's move on. Just a couple guys in Classic I want to mention. When has Daboul competed since when was the last time Daboul actually competed? I can't remember. We're talking about Michael
Olympia?
Daboul.
Probably the Olympia, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's been a minute. Oh, come on, Ron. I know you had it there somewhere. Durable. So yeah, there we go. Michael Daboul from Syria. He lives in UK, right?
He lives in Dubai now.
Oh, geez, everybody's in Dubai.
So, yeah. All right.
Yeah, so he's 223, 4 pounds over the limit. This was posted yesterday. Classic proportion, shape. This is a guy when we talk about somebody is a straight up bodybuilder, are they true classic? There's no question in my mind. This is a classic physique we're looking at when we look at Daboul.
Yeah.
Really like an old school vibe with this guy's physique.
But he's got a lot of competition in this class because this is how many's in this class?
Oh boy, I think it was 37 or something. We'll look at the Bodybuilders Without Borders counted it out. This class and men's physique were just packed. Each of them had almost 40 guys, I think.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's so if he wins this, because the thing with Classic, there's so many kind of up and coming good guys coming through. You can have new guys coming out of nowhere, winning pro shows. When I had Terence Ruffin here in the studio a few weeks ago, we were discussing that, and I said about Classic. I said it's not just the quality, but it's the quantity of quality that's coming through. And then Terence reeled off a few names of like in Brazil and different countries of guys that he personally rated that I'd never even heard of. So I was like, holy shit. And he said, yeah, check this guy out, check that guy out. I really rate him. And I was like, I've never even heard of some of these guys. So it just shows you just how competitive the Classic is. So if Michael can win this one, then that's going to give him a lot of confidence and momentum for himself going into the Olympia. Because the thing is, he's always like what 5th to 8th at Olympia. He's won Arnold UK's. He's top 3 Arnold Classic. He's literally one of the absolute A-listers in Classic today, and that's a very, very competitive category.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got one more guy in Classic. I think he's from UK. I just assume everyone's from UK. I don't know why. Richard Nagel, New York, Pittsburgh.
Hungarian.
Doug on it, Ron. So here's his most recent update.
He's already qualified.
Did he win something already this season? Or was it post? It was Romania, right?
Yeah, he's won show.
Yeah. So
I can't remember what shows it because he's done. I think he's won. I'm sure he's won 2 shows already this year because I know he won at least 2 last year because he won one of the Hungarian show last April when I was doing commentary with Lauren. The Kokeni Classic. He won the classic there, and then I think he won at least another 1 or 2 more. So he went into the Olympia as like a 2-3 pro show winner. I've got 8th place that he was at the Olympia. Was he? He's top 10 Olympia guy anyway. So, and when you got like some of these years having 58, 60 guys in, that's a huge achievement. I really rate this guy. I really like his physique, and he will push Michael. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, he's no joke. This guy, look, that condition. Duboul is also known for condition, but this guy will be right there with him. Right there.
And he's already got, I'm pretty sure he's already got a couple of wins under his belt already. So he must be coming into this one thinking he's going to win it, or knowing that he's capable of winning it. And the thing is, if he took out someone like a Michael Duboul, that would be a huge scalp for him to take.
Oh, absolutely. Because then he's going to move, in the minds of most people, he's going to move up into that top 5, top 6 spot at the Olympia.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm not sure he's a top 5 guy. I'm not sure he's a top 5 guy yet. I think he's like a 6th to 10th sort of guy because I think the top 5 is just too stacked right now. But he's definitely a top 10 Olympia guy, legit, and he has been top 10 in the past. So
you can't have everybody be in the top 5. It's just too many people.
56 guys in your top 5 again.
They did have 56 competitors. So there was another show happening in China, same day.
China.
Oddly enough. Actually, let me think, because I think the Dubai show is the Dubai show is Saturday and this show is Sunday. So you could theoretically watch them both if you really wanted to.
You got to say China like how Trump says it. China.
We're gonna charge you some China's gonna have to pay some heavy tariffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 open guys, 10 more than Dubai. He makes a note to say.
Wow. Yeah. Do you know this China show? That was the one that Andrew Jack said he wanted to do. That's what he told me he wanted to do, and then he didn't. He apparently got his visa or something sorted for FIBO, and he jumped into that in the last minute. So the actual original plan was for him to do this one and get his qualification here for the Olympia. But obviously, he obviously went and took the chance on FIBO and won.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a couple months ago. I don't think it was us joking like it would be an easy win if somebody does this China show because who's going to go to China? But there's actually some good names here, so. I'm going to say Presti Andrea Presti. This is probably his show to win based on what I've seen him capable of and who else I've seen in the lineup. And we're wondering.
Do you know what? I hope he gets a.
Go ahead,
Ron. I hope he gets a win because he got shafted in Prague last year.
Agreed.
Did you see that? Did you see that? He got 8th place. And I was actually with Ronnie. Back at the hotel, and Steve Weinberger and George Farah came over and said hi. And I said, Steve, can I ask something? And then everyone looked at me like, Giles, you're playing with fire here. And I went, Steve, can I ask you something? Will you be honest? And he went, yeah. I said, what hell happened to Andrea Presti? And Steve gave me this really like evil look. And he said, oh, well, he moved up. He gave me some answer. Like, he was like, oh, he moved up towards the end and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, but 8th place, really? And then George Farah said, no, he had wrinkles on his lower back. And I'm thinking, he freaking didn't, mate. He was awesome. So, I hope Presti gets some love here because I would love to see him get a win. Because after the Prague show, I heard rumors that he was thinking of retiring because he says no, the judges don't like my physique anymore, and because he's always like a top 2, top 3 Olympia guy, pro show guy. He's won pro shows, he's done Olympias, and it literally really knocked him. It knocked him mentally. So I'm really happy to see him back because I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him win a good pro show like this and then get to the Olympia because otherwise he's kind of losing momentum, isn't he? So because he's really good. He's a big dude as well. Big guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one I want to see more quads. If his quads were bigger, he'd be beating a lot more people than he's been beating. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think we know that.
But look, the shoulders back. He's so wide up top. He's got a beautiful frame. I'm a big fan of it. He's a nice guy. I've talked to him a few times.
Nice stripy shoulders as well.
Yeah. Nothing.
Do you know what? It's a funny thing to say. I saw him at the 22 Olympia, and I was at the hotel checking in, Planet Hollywood. And I remember because whenever I see like Kamal or whatever, like I always go up and give him a hug like that. And I hugged Andrea, and it's like some of these guys, when you hug them, they're quite, even when they're in contest conditions, some of them are quite squishy. Like they feel quite, it's a really weird thing to say. They're quite padded, but I hugged Andrea and I went, Andrea, it's like hugging a tree that's rock hard. I mean, he was like, his muscle was like, you know, when you shake some of these guys' hands, I remember shaking Tom Prince's hand once, and it felt really spongy, like a bunch of bananas.
Oh boy.
But then when I hugged Dad Presti, it was like he was so big, but he was so, like, his body was solid. I was like, it really stuck in my mind. It's really, really crazy. The guy is he's like made out of stone or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's another one who's very consistent. I've never seen him remotely out of shape ever.
Is there something going on with his chest?
I don't know. It looks kind of odd there, yeah.
You know, a couple of other videos, a couple of the updates you showed me, it looks like something maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe I'm just seeing things.
Oh, I think, are you thinking maybe like a tear? No, I think that's just a...
No, not that one. One of the other ones. This stuff literally popped into my head. Actually, it popped into my head. But because sometimes when these guys are very delt dominant, you know, they're like Keon. Keon's delt dominant over his, like it's more dominant than his chest. Like right. It's you know, like sometimes, and I noticed this more. Like in the 80s, you used to see guys with bigger chests and smaller shoulders. Now they've all got big shoulders and smaller chests. Correct. So I don't know. I don't know what's something you've noticed, but there's definitely something I picked up on.
Yeah, I've heard people say, well, I think the judges emphasize delts. The judges don't emphasize anything. They're just judging whatever's in front of them. They're not like...
Or even though Andrea's got nice stripy delts, do you think a lot of it's because they pin their shoulders?
Well, when you see zero separation or detail in a muscle group, be it the arms or shoulders, I immediately assume it's just full of oil. It might just be regular gear or whatever, but there's no other reason. Because if everything else is shredded and detailed, and then you have two body parts out of nowhere that have none of that. They look like blobs.
And also, Ron, sorry to interrupt. Have you noticed when some of these guys now that all pin their shoulders, have you noticed now you never saw in the 80s or 90s guys without striations in their chests? Now you see guys hitting poses and their shoulders are just massive and solid, and there's no flickers, there's no striations, no detail in their chest. And that's a new phenomenon. That's something I've noticed in the sport that you never saw 20, 30 years ago. Now you see quite guys hitting most musculars and nothing happens. I won't mention the names. There's probably a few I could mention actually, where nothing kind of flickers in their chest. All the detail goes. It's because everything their shoulders are so solid. They're so filled with crap. It's almost like it's like they've ruined all the pathways and all the connections to their chest, and they can build a chest, but they can't get any detail in it. And also just make it clear, I'm not saying that about Presti. I'm just saying, No. We just got onto the subject of chest and shoulders, and it's just triggered a thought process that's not connected to Andrea.
A couple names that came to mind are much higher up the rung on the ladder than Andrea. Andrea right now. So
yes.
Let's move on. That's enough said.
Let's get ourselves cancelled.
No. Not Bo Lewis. I want Lewis Breed, the brick. So Lewis jumping in. Haven't seen Lewis in a minute. Most Muscular Monday. This was last year's Tampa. So, yeah, he's hoping to get to the Olympia this year. What do you think about the point system? Because we've seen guys, Sasan had to do 6 shows to get his Olympia qualification. He had to win a show. And it was very, very likely that he wasn't going to get it. You know, he ended up beating Regan, and he won this other show too. But we're going to see guys that you predicted this once the point system gone. Last year was the first year we hadn't had it in a while. We're going to see a lot of guys that don't make it to the Olympia, or at least a few who are really good and really should be at the Olympia, but they're just going to keep taking second place to Olympia level guy, top 5, top 10 Olympia guys.
Tough. No, seriously, because if you do 6 shows and you get 6 seconds, those 6 guys that if they're different guys that have all beaten you, you're gonna have to go up against them again at the Olympia anyway. True. So if you can't beat anyone, if you can't win a show, I mean, now they're saying that for like classic and people are floating the idea that you have to win more than one pro show to qualify for the Olympia. When you've got bikini and men's physique and classic so full, when they've got 50, 60 people, it's. Do we have to get a bit stricter with the qualification, not looser? I mean, yes, I know I probably sound a bit of a hypocrite because I have commented on, sort of guys that keep going and going and going and they don't get a win. It's like, oh, he probably would have got a qualification if he'd had the point system. But you know what? I think somebody pointed out, I said, how many people have ever actually qualified on points, have actually done it and made an impact at the Olympia? Especially if they've done 3, 4, 5 shows and they've just picked up seconds and thirds. Then you've got the top 6, the likely top 6 guys. Then you've got the 5 or 6 guys that they went up against that they got beat by in those last 6 shows. Really, is there any point going to the Olympia just to make up the numbers, just to say that you want to say that you've done the Olympia? I'm not so sure, mate. I'm not so sure. So I flip flop on this one. But I think the thing is, Sasan now, he's proven himself by getting 2 wins. So and also I think it's, oh God. Okay, I'll put this out there. This is something I've been wanting to talk about. Krizo. Can we just talk about Krizo quickly?
Go for it.
Krizo, there was no benefit for him doing the New York Pro or the Pittsburgh, which apparently his sponsors wanted him to do. Now, I know that Krizo doesn't like to travel. He's coming a long way from Prague to go to America to compete. Those were shows that, let's be honest, I wouldn't have said he would have been top 3 in probably either of those shows, even though he's a fantastic bodybuilder and he is one of my favorites. Because after the New York Pro, when he got, was it 4th or 3rd?
4th, I believe.
4th, yeah. Because he beat, he got 3rd and then Regan was 4th, wasn't he?
Yeah, you're probably right. You're better.
Whatever. But I mean, those are 2 shows that he was unlikely to win. I mean, he could have maybe won the New York Pro, but he wasn't going to beat Derek or Nick or Martin, in Pittsburgh. And so now he's shut it down, and we're not going to get to see him at the Olympia. And this is a guy who's been 7th place at the 2023 Olympia. This is a guy that we want to see at the Olympia. So, there was I would have said to him, look, mate, go pick a show like Empro, go do Italy, go do a show that is likely, like even Andrew Jack was willing to do the China show because he wanted to get his qualification out of the way. So that's why he jumped into FIBO, because he just wanted to get it done, get the that thing stamped and just get himself to the Olympia so he can concentrate fully on the Olympia where it really, really, really counts. So I think this was a mistake putting him in these 2 shows. Yes, it's great to see one of our favorite bodybuilders in a good lineup against, but realistically, was he going to win it? Probably not.
Hold on a second. I don't think he ever even. So here was the top 4 from Pittsburgh. It was Martin, William, Nick, and Derek. I don't think he even got a chance to stand next to them.
There you go. So all this thing of like, you should do every show, and there's no benefit to doing a show of so and so. I said, you and me both said, like, look, if Vito does it, he's probably fighting with Krizo for 5th. And that's and obviously Vito didn't do it. But I think that's what would have happened. We were right on every other count, Ron. So now he's done New York and Pittsburgh, and now he's burnt out and he's gone into his off season. And the next show he's going to be doing is Prague, which is after the Olympia. Yeah. So I'm really disappointed that we're not going to see Krizo now at the Olympia. Whereas, I mean, let's be honest, he probably would have beat Sasan. He would have beat Sasan at the Empro. So I would have said to him, look, be a bit more strategic with the shows that you choose. Because there's an example. There's an example of where I would say, look, there's no benefit to you doing these 2 American shows unless they're after the main show where you feel you can definitely qualify. Say Empro had been first and he'd won Empro, then I'd say, mate, it's, if you've got a few months to the Olympia, go and jump in the New York Pro, go and jump in a show like Pittsburgh. But the fact was, these 2 shows were before. And now, because he doesn't like traveling, he's done 2 shows. He's burnt out. Well, he got burnt out, but he says, no, I want to go into my off season. I'm tired. I don't want to prep anymore. And now us Krizo fans are not going to get to see him at the Olympia. So I'm really disappointed by that. But I think his sponsors need to think more carefully about whether it's better for him to be seen in these shows like New York Pro or Pittsburgh, or for him to get a qualification and to see him at the Olympia. And personally, I think it's more important to see him at the Olympia getting 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or something like that, than there is to coming 3rd in the New York Pro.
That's because he missed last year's Olympia because of his shoulder.
Exactly.
So 2 Olympias in a row. So when he gets to the Olympia in 2026, theoretically, that's going to be 3 years since he's been on that stage.
Ron, I could have predicted this. When I heard he was doing New York Pro in Pittsburgh, I was like, what's the point? Go do what Andrew Jack did and go do a show that you know that, like, imagine if he'd have jumped in FIBO and say Andrew hadn't or whatever, or maybe he could have beaten Andrew. I don't know. I don't know. Stranger things have happened.
Maybe.
But like I would have said to him, mate, look at the lineups, find out who's doing what. Maybe just do a show in Europe. Go do Italy. Go do Spain. and then just shut it down and go, because we want to see you at the Olympia, and then jump in Prague afterwards, because obviously Prague are his sponsors. The EBLS people are his sponsors,
right?
So obviously they want to see him there. But wouldn't it be better to see him at Prague after he's just took 8th place at the Olympia? I mean, come on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's unfortunate. I don't think his sponsors had any idea that he wasn't going to be able to beat these guys.
Oh, they must have known. Come on, what if they don't? Then they don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, he's not beating Derek. He's not beating Nick. He's not beating Bonac, Martin.
Exactly.
These guys are just a slightly higher level up than he is.
Ron, this is exactly my point. And if say Tyler had said, look, we've put this new show together, I'd love to see Krizo in the show. Maybe just say to him, well, look, actually, we just want to kind of get him qualified for the Olympia. You know, there's no pressure in saying no, because I would have said to him, like, well, is there any chance that he's going to beat guys like Derek and Nick and Bonac and Martin? It's probably not. No. So I would have said, look, our main priority is to getting him qualified, getting him to the Olympia where it counts. You know, it's like people going on about Nick Walker hadn't stepped on stage and done this and done that. And it's like, well, look, he won the New York Pro last year. And people will say, we don't care about that. All we care about is how he does at the Olympia. See, there you go. That's the point I was trying to make with people like Krizo, you know, and Vito. There is sometimes you've got to be a bit more strategic rather than just doing shows, you know, just because you've been asked or because you've I would have said to Krizo, like, if you say to come to me, just say purely hypothetically, and said, Giles, what do you think I should do? I'd say, what do you think I should do these shows? I would say, Pittsburgh and New York, probably want to give them a miss, mate. Maybe New York, but maybe go do like FIBO or Empro or something like that. Get yourself qualified, and then just do what Andrew Jack did, and then just shut it down, and then just focus purely on the Olympia, and then Prague afterwards.
Perfect example. Andrew did it right, because he wasn't going to win Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
So he knew I can go to FIBO. He wasn't 100%. He wasn't even close to, but he knew it wasn't going to be that difficult to show. And there's no shame in that, because the Olympia is the prize. That's the goal. Everybody wants to win the Olympia. So he needed to qualify. He wasn't qualified. He did it, and then he can take the rest of the year. He had a little break, a little off season. That's the way to do it, instead of burn yourself out on all these shows where you're not going to beat the top 5 Olympians in this show.
Exactly. This is what kind of leads on from a point about the whole Vito thing. Do you know what I mean? Because people then get excited when they see certain pictures or carefully selected pictures or Photoshop pictures or videos, and then they lose their mind. They're thinking he's going to win. It's like, oh, mate, there's levels to this. He's probably not. He's probably going to look a bit different by the time he hits the stage. No disrespect, he's a great bodybuilder, but you know, you got Derek Dunsford, who's the Olympia champion. You got Nick Walker, who's freaking incredible. You got to look at things sometimes a bit more realistically, you know. And you know, what the fans are like. All they want to see is their favorite guy. They want to see how they do at the Olympia, because they want to see if that person's 9th, they can say they need their guys top 9 or top 10 in the world. You know, it's kind of what, you know, like I said, the way the fans went on about Nick Walker last year. It's like, look, he's still the current New York Pro champion.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we forgot about that. We don't care about that. That was kind of their attitude. And some were actually even saying that. Yeah. You know, it's like we don't care. We just want to see how he does at Olympia. We want to see if he can beat Samson, if he can beat Derek, if he can beat Hadi. You know, so otherwise your stock does fall. It does. And interest falls and fan support falls and everything. So it's kind of like the whole qualifying system is set up to get these guys to Olympia, to see where they fall, to see who's the best, to see who's the 6th best, the 5th best, who's, you know, just to see how good they are. That's the real test. Not so you could win, you know, 4 or 5 pro shows. It doesn't. People genuinely don't care, actually.
No, I mean the Olympias. That's it. Did you win the Olympia? No. Oh, you only won an Arnold Classic. You know, the Olympia. It's always going to be the top title. So while I have the chance, because this is going to be old news if it's not already, the motorcycle stance, the current way the guys stand, and Stanton does it exactly this way too. So we're not picking on it. This is how most of the guys do it now. Arms up very high, legs apart. The toes are obviously turned outward, showing more inner thigh. I want to show something from 1991. This is how we used to have a symmetry round at all the pro shows, and they had to have heels together. Lee Priest on the live, I was doing a commentary last night on a different podcast, and Lee Priest said Wayne DeMilly was always yelling at us, feet together, arms down, if anybody tried to deviate from what they consider a true relaxed stance. And this is how it was. This is 1991, obviously a long time ago. And we're not saying these guys were better bodybuilders than today's bodybuilders, but in your eyes, Giles, Do you think this is a better way to showcase the physique in a more relaxed, if we can use that term, because they're not relaxed, they're tensing everything. But do you like this stance more so than the way they do it now with the arms up and the legs apart?
Hang on, are you talking about how they hit it now versus how they hit it, or the fact that they should bring the symmetry round back? Is that what you're saying? Or
no, they're not going to bring the symmetry. I'm just saying,
okay.
Just the stance itself. Would you rather see the return to this, or does it matter?
I don't care. I saw all the people kicking off about it, and I just thought, I don't really feel strongly enough either way to have an opinion. I mean, all I know is that, like, you just showed Derek Lunsford there. When Derek Lunsford came out at the 22 Olympia, that motorcycle stance, if you want to call it, really suited his physique. Yeah. When he came out and he lifted his arms up, and because if you notice, his waist isn't as small as it was in 22.
Right.
If you go back and have a look at the 22 footage of when he walked out, it's funny enough, I saw a picture or a video the other day, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, obviously, Derek has got a lot bigger since 22, but so is his waist. So for me, when he hit that in 22, I was there. You were there, second row. Everyone gasped when he came out and he lifted his arms up and he did that motorcycle stance. He looked incredible. And then when he did the frontal bicep and the shoulder to waist, and then when he came back last year after winning the Olympia in 24, it just didn't look the same, and the crowd was completely silent. So I think it depends on however it suits your physique. And like I said, I don't feel strongly enough either way to really, really care.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I just think if he could put his arms down just a little, I just don't think the elbows need to be as high as they were. I don't think he needs to have. I don't think anybody needs to have their arms down by their side like they did in the old days, but way up high. Yeah, I mean, he does pull it off. He's got those crazy lats that you can see jutting out from the front. They're almost 90-degree angles. As far as putting the legs apart, do you think that's an effort just to try to make the legs look bigger for these guys now?
I just think it comes down to whatever the athlete feels suits their physique, because they've probably been spent hours in a posing room, going through it, and they'd say, why do you think I look my leg like this? Or like when Samson used to do his frontal bicep and he'd lean on the one leg and then he was told not to. And I just thought, it doesn't look as good. I like the way he used to hit it, where he angled it like a classic guy, like Sean Roden or the Victor Martinez, like kind of hip tilt, like a classic look. I think the athlete should be able to do whatever they feel suits their physique best. And I think Derek looks good in that shot, that front, the front motorcycle. I have no issues. Was that when he won the Olympia?
Yeah, 2023 Olympia.
Look at the legs, a lot better there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what? His legs have gone backwards.
Well, they looked like this at the Arnold, and then they went backwards for Pittsburgh. So
not as much, mate. I mean, his legs look the best here. I had Derek clearly winning the Arnold Classic, which I didn't expect. I thought Samson was going to come in and wipe him out. But, it just shows you can't, it shows you also how close these guys are and whoever brings it on the day. But, so have you got any thoughts on the Olympia yet about?
No, too early.
No? Okay. No, because I'm flip-flopping again.
Oh, as far as who's going to win? I mean, gosh.
Yeah, what have I been saying all year? Who did I think was going to win pretty much since the Arnold Classic?
Derek.
Yeah, I think Samson's going to do it again.
I mean, Samson just needs condition, and it's not like he needs to bring up a body part or something that's, could he do it or could he? I think anybody can get in great shape. Anybody.
Yeah.
Just a matter of suffering.
So I'm on the Samson train for this year, for this week. And next week it's Hadi. The week after it'll be Nick again, and then I'll probably go full circle and come back to Derek. But right now, I think, I've got Samson in my. I think because I always had it when he won the Olympia last year. I thought I had in my head that he could win 3, and I think I'm coming back round to that now.
I wanted to mention this guy because he is very good. Xiaoming, gosh,
amazing.
What does he go by? On the score sheet, his name is Xiaoming Chan, but his Instagram is Liang Yan. I don't know. There's different translations, but this guy's fantastic. He's the one that weren't you there when he turned pro and he competed the next day in the pro show?
Yeah, Romania. What was that? 22, wasn't it? 22 or 21? 21. Yeah, because he was 100 kilos, and he won the heavyweights, and then obviously won his pro card, and then Radislav Angelov, who ended up winning the 212 in Romania, we're back at the hotel, and he said, Giles, that Chinese guy that won the pro card, he says, do you know what he's doing tomorrow? Is he doing open or 212?
Yeah.
He looked really worried. And Radislav looked really worried. He says, you could see he's not doing 212, is he? And I said, well, to do that, he'd have to lose 8 pounds overnight. I says, that's very, very unlikely because he's got to weigh in as well. I says, if we see him, it's going to be, if he does compete tomorrow as a pro, which he's obviously now he's pro, I said, I guarantee he'll be doing the open. There's no way he's doing 212. And he did, and he got 5th in the open. Yeah. Which is good, which is a bloody good result.
So he's doing open here in China. His native, he's a hometown favorite. So yeah, interested to see how he does. I don't know if there's a stream or anything. The Dubai show, I cannot find much information at all about that show. They don't seem to have a website.
They didn't last year, did they? They didn't last year. They were really slack.
So I don't even, there's got to be a stream. There was a stream last year, wasn't there?
Well, I can't remember because I was in Milan.
Oh, that's right. I think there was, though. But anyway, we wish this guy the best of luck.
He's amazing. Oof. He stole my leg training routine.
Definitely. I mean, I've yet to see a pro from Korea or China with skinny legs, ever. Yeah,
they've always got weak backs, though, haven't they?
I've yet to see one with a really impressive back at the same time. It's the strangest thing. I mean, and
I would love some Asian DNA injected into my calves.
I've never seen them with those high calves either. It's always very, very low insertions and big, thick, meaty calves. I don't know why. Man, we've been all over the place with this.
Yeah. And also, the next couple of days, I'll have news of another tour. And then next week, there'll be news of another tour again. We're doing 2 back-to-back next month. So there's big news coming up. I mean, if you've been paying attention to my stories on Instagram, you'll probably see that I've started to leak a bit of information already. But we're less than a month away from the Euro Muscle Show in Amsterdam, which you will be a prominent part of. I would have been there, but shoulder took precedent. Got to get my shoulder replaced. I can't wait. It's really hurting. So you're going to have a fantastic time over there. Matthew Purcell, promoter, doing a fantastic job. Info there is euromuscleshow.com. Everybody, if you're anywhere within flying or driving distance of that show, it's going to be star-studded. It's going to be a good time. Biggest expo, definitely in the Netherlands. It was the first year. It was amazing. It's 42% bigger this year.
Oh wow!
Okay. The thing with these expo halls, they can extend them. Do you know what I mean? Because they usually put curtains and cordon them off and everything. So, all good.
And if you guys are lucky, you go there, you might get to meet Tiger. You never know. He'll be up on stage doing some interviews and MC type of stuff.
Some rapping.
Yeah. And that's it. Well, I think that's good for this week. We've been over an hour, and it's the Power Hour. So I will be doing some coverage, guys, of the Dubai show, assuming I can find the stream, which I think I should be able to do. So keep your notification bells on, and we'll know about that. And that's it. Giles, thank you so much. Great time as always. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching Power Hour, and we'll see you next time.